Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome to the Dankest Dungeon. Today we're going to be doing a rematch with these Assassin's Creed commanders. If you didn't see the first game, go ahead and check it out here in the upper right. Let's go ahead and play some Magic. Hey everyone, it's Jason. I am back again playing Arbaaz Mir, looking to make this game absolutely legendary.
Hey, I'm Brent. I'm back playing Shao Jun. Play a bunch of artifacts, turn them sideways, and hopefully kill all my opponents.
Howdy guys, it's Nate back again playing Sigurd, Jarl of Ravensthorpe. Is this the saga of my great triumph or my great demise? We'll see.
Hey, it's Matt again. I'm playing Havi the Allfather. I've not played Assassin's Creed, so I can only assume based on the name that he has a lot of children, let's say.
All right, everyone, welcome to game 2. Let's go. I got 11. Also
Stop it.
You guys still need to say your numbers.
6.
7.
All right, thank you.
Not 11.
I don't want to go last. This is why I usually sit there.
That's horrible. I'm gonna put that back.
I cannot keep you there.
Sure, it's playable.
Hell yeah.
Well, this is gonna be fun being out of this game.
My hand also seems terrible.
Death sentence.
Oh, lands. I'm gonna put this card back on the bottom and keep these 6 other cards.
I'm keeping it.
2 on the bottom. Good to go?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna draw. I'm going to play Mines of Moria. It enters the battlefield tapped unless of a control legendary creature. I definitely do not meet that qualification. Go ahead.
And turn will be Wooded Foothills. Pass.
Into Bookkeep. Draw. Play Forest for turn. Pay 1 for a delighted halfling. Just jazzed to be here, guys. Go ahead.
I'm going to fetch with my Windswept Heath. Find a Temple Garden. Must be something really interesting going on because all the halflings are delighted.
Hell yeah.
Pass the turn.
Untap and draw. I'm gonna play an Iganjo for my land for turn. Pay 2 for my commander. I will gain 1, you will each lose 1. I will pass the turn.
I will fetch and lose another 1. Thundering Falls 1 turn, I'll surveil 1. Scalding Steel to the graveyard. Draw. I'll play the Great Furnace, which allows me to play this Emery for 2, milling 4. Hit Transmutation Font, Fabricate, Simulacrum Synthesizer, and Unwinding Clock.
Nice.
Pass the turn.
Play a Jetmere Garden tapped. Sago.
Untap and draw. Here is a mountain. And we're going to go visit the mountain 3 times. My life total's irrelevant. We don't have any pinging decks at the table anyway.
Not at all.
I will cast this Bloom Tender. Pass the turn.
Untapping and drawing. I'm gonna play an Urza's Saga for turn. I will gain 1, you'll each lose 1. It'll get a counter. I'm gonna hit you for 2, Nate.
Rude.
I will then pay 3 mana for a Filigree Familiar. I'll gain 1, each lose 1. It's a 2/2 Fox. When it is the battlefield, I gain 2 life. And when it dies, I draw a card. Go for it.
Training Center land for turn. I'm going to target the Simulacrum Synthesizer in my graveyard and cast it. When it enters the battlefield, I will scry 2. And then whenever another artifact with mana cost 30 or greater enters battlefield, I create a construct. Put these in the bottom. Pass turn.
I'm gonna cast a Monumental Henge. It enters the battlefield tapped unless I control planes. Hey, Jetmere's Garden is a planes. White, green, red. Can't counter this. I'm gonna cast Sigurd, Jarl of Ravensthorpe. Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, has a boast thing, has a thing when I put lore counters and sagas that I don't have right now. Sago.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Guardian Project. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under my control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature I control or a creature card in my graveyard, I draw a card.
Seems very unlikely that that would happen in Commander.
It's pretty unlikely. I'm going to tap this Delighted Halfling for white and cast Skrell, Defector Might. It's a 1/1 toxic 1 and can't block. I can pay a Phyrexian Might and tap it, and choose a color, another target creature I control against toxic 1, and hexproof from that color until end of turn. Can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. Trigger Guardian Project. I'll draw a card. Pass turn.
Urza's Saga will get a counter. I'm gonna play a Minas Tirith for turn. It's a legendary land. I'll gain 1, you each lose 1. I can pay a white and 1 to draw a card, activate only if I attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn. We'll swing on Brent for 2 damage. I'm gonna pay 4 mana for a Joyra's Familiar. I will gain 1, you each lose 1.
Stop it.
Unlikely for me to stop it unless you kill me like last game.
Challenge accepted.
It is flying. Historic spells I cast cost 1 less to cast, which means I can cast this Candy Trail for 0 mana. I'll gain a life, you lose a life.
Stop it.
I will scry 2 when it enters play. I'm gonna put those both on the bottom and pass my turn.
Is Scrub an artifact creature?
Yeah.
Nice.
don't like the way you said that.
Bloodstained Mire's return. I will target the Sculpting Steel in my graveyard. I will choose to cast Sculpting Steel. It will enter as a Simulacrum Synthesizer. It'll make a construct, and then I'll scry 2. I will pass it in.
Let's play a Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth. Tap for 4. Use one of it to cast a Hardened Scales. If a +1/+1 counter would be put on a creature I control, that many +1 is put on it instead. Use the other 3. Cast a Battle for Brettengard. It's going to get a lore counter. A lore counter when on a saga I control. I'm going to put a +1 counter onto one other target creature I control. I'm going to put it on the halfling. It's going to get another one. I'm going to make the 1/1 human warrior. Jason, I will swing a 3/3 at you.
I'll block with Filigree Familiar. I will draw a card when it dies. I'll take 1 damage.
I will gain 3. I don't care about boasting this time. Go ahead.
Red, Ragavan. Trigger Guardian Project. I'm gonna draw a card. 4, 5, 6. Havi can't be countered because of halfling. Has indestructible as long as there are 4 or more historic cards in my graveyard, which there are currently 0. When it or another legendary creature I control dies, return target legendary creature with a lesser mana value from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Trigger Guardian Project. I'll draw a card. There's a land. We've done it. It enters tapped though. God.
Urza's Saga will get its 3rd counter. Before it does, I'm going to float a singular colorless mana. I'm going to go get a 1-drop. Yeah, who are we kidding? I'm going to get a Soul Ring. I will gain a life, you each lose a life. 3 mana. Teo, Geometric Tactician. I'll gain 1, you each lose 1. When he enters the battlefield, I create a 0/4 white wall creature token with Defender and Flying. There it is. I'm going to +1 him. I will draw a card, and Nate will draw a card.
What?
Thank you.
Pay 2 mana for an Ashnod's Altar. I will gain a life, you just lose a life. I'm going to go ahead and sack the wall I just made for 2 mana. I'll use that 2 colorless mana, being reduced by 1 for a Sky Scanner. Lose a life, I will gain a life. It's a 1/1 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, I will draw a card. I am going to sack Sky Scanner to Ashnod's Altar for 2 mana. I'm going to use that, being reduced by 1 for Workshop Assistant. When it dies, return another target artifact card from my graveyard to my hand. I'm going to go ahead and sack Workshop Assistant for 2 mana to Ashnod's Altar, returning Sky Scanner to my hand. I'm going to use that 2 mana to recast Sky Scanner. I will gain 1, you each lose 1.
Stop it.
I will draw a card. I'm going to go ahead and sack Sky Scanner for 2 mana. Cast Springleaf Drum.
In response to cast. We're going to Swords, Jorah's Familiar.
In response, I will sack it for 2 mana. Springleaf will enter. I'll gain another. You will lose 1.
Stop it.
We're just going to use 2 of this. Tap Candy Trail. I gain 3 life and draw a card. I'm going to use the last 2 for Mirror Retriever.
Yeah, that would have done it.
I'll gain a life. You each lose a life. Yeah, I think that's it.
I'll play Land Return. Fetch. Extreme will enter tab. I wanted to fetch before I do this. Phyrexian Metamorph. It'll enter as a copy of Simulacrum Synthesizer. I will make 2 constructs and I will scry 2. Jason, 7 at your face.
I'll take 7.
Draw. Battle for Brettengard gets another counter. I make an elf. I put a +1 counter on something, which will be 2 because of Hardened Scales. We'll put it on the human. Now I'll play my land for turn, being a Bountiful Promenade, entering untapped because I have 2 or more opponents. I'm going to pay 6 and cast an Austere command. I'm going to choose to destroy all artifacts and all creatures with mana value 4 or greater.
Mirror Retriever will grab Workshop Assistant with Mirror Retriever.
Then go to combat. 3/3 human at Teo, Sigurd at face.
Okay.
I will gain 3. Say go.
Lauren of the Third Path. When Lauren of the Third Path enters a battlefield, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. Hardened Scales. Goodbye.
That's unfortunate.
Trigger Guardian Project. I will draw a card. 4. Purphoros, God of the Forge. As long as my devotion to red is less than 5, Purphoros isn't a creature. Whenever another creature enters under my control, it deals 2 damage to each opponent, and I can pay 3 creatures I control, get 1/0 until end of turn. And then I'm going to do something straight questionable and play this Turn Timber Serpentine Wood untapped, paying some life, and put Safi Eric's into play. I can sack Safi. Target creature is put into a graveyard, can play this turn, return it to play. 2 damage to each of you. I'll draw a card. Combat. Jason, you want your commander dead or you want to get hit for 2?
I'd rather take 2.
Okay, then take 2. Trigger Ragavan, exile the top card of your deck. I get a treasure. You know what? I am going to cast your
Yeah, you
Ragavan.
ping us for 2. Why not?
Because I can ping you for 2, and then my Ragavan is safely in the graveyard. This doesn't trigger because I have another Ragavan. We did it.
It did it.
We did it, Reddit. Pass.
If you appreciate the content we're creating and you'd like to support us here at The Dungeon, the #1 way to do so is to sign up over on our Patreon page. Some of the Patreon benefits include access to our full deck lists, voting privileges for polls held over on our Patreon, and shoutouts at the end of every video to let everyone know how awesome you are. If money's tight and becoming a patron isn't the best option for you right now, we totally get it. Simply liking our videos or subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, or commenting down below all help as well, and are totally free. Thank you all for watching and enjoy the game. I'm gonna uptick this fella. I'm gonna give Brant a card because we're both hurting over here. I'm gonna play an Inventor's Fair for turn. I'll gain one, you each lose one. 3 mana for a Workshop Assistant. I'll gain one, you each lose one.
Stop it.
1 mana for a Dusk Rose Reliquary. As additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature. I'll sacrifice this creature I just played. I'm gonna return Mere Retriever to my hand. This will come into play. I'm going to exile your commander.
Sure.
Yeah, that must be
makes
the thing about Matt. We're just dead on his turn, so.
I don't win unless I have a sack outlet.
Do something, you guys. Good luck. Bye.
How did I know I was going to top deck that card in this state? Target some Lacrum Synthesizer. Cast Lacrum Synthesizer. I do. Dockside. After everything was blown up.
4 treasures.
I will sacrifice 3 of the treasures. Forensic Gadgeteer. Whenever I cast an artifact spell, I investigate. Activate abilities of artifacts cost me 1 less to activate. I get a treasure token. Not a pass turn.
Draw. Battle for Rentengard. Alt. I'm going to choose any number of target artifact or creature tokens I control and make a token copy of them. I'm going to make another human. I'm going to make another elf. Play my land for turn. Being a Nesting Grounds. I can pay 1 and tap it to move a counter from target permanent I control to another target permanent. Activate only as a sorcery. 3. Guess my commander does a whole lot of nothing right now. Say go.
Hey, you were supposed to stop Matt.
I'm gonna untap, draw.
I stopped the game from ending once. I can't stop it every time.
I'm gonna go to combat, see what the Ragavan can find me today.
Swiftfoot Boots.
Yeah,
I'll
take
take 2.
I'll make a treasury. 8. Havi's. You're each gonna take 2 and I'm gonna draw a card. Goblin Bombardment.
Cast a Goblin Bombardment.
Cast a Goblin Bombardment.
Path Havi.
Sure. I will get a land. That's it. Pass turn.
Untapping and drawing. Brent, draw a card. I'll also draw a card. I'm gonna play a Reliquary Tower for turn. I'm gonna pass my turn, y'all.
Mystical Tutor. Putting Cyclonic Rift on top of my library. 1, 2, 3. Brash, Tunnel, Grinder. I will discard 2. I will draw 3 total. I also make a construct and a clue. Pass the turn.
I'm gonna pay 4. I'm gonna activate the Monumental Henge. Only the top 5 cards in my library. I can reveal a historic card from among them and put it into my hand.
This is on your turn?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Feels freaking bad. Revealing an Arnie Slays the Troll. Play Gavany Township as my land for turn. Combat Matt. I'll swing a 3/3 human and a 3/3 Sigurd at you.
I'm at 10.
Alright, I gain 3. Say go.
Land for turn is Misty Rainforest. I'm gonna tap all of my mana. I need 10 mana. I'm gonna put Havi onto the stack uncounterably.
Yeah, I guess I got a Bob once the Goblin Bombardment.
Okay. Havi enters trigger. Perforos, Guardian Project.
Jason's finally under 40.
Hashtag got him. Let's go to combat. Swing this Ragavan at you.
I got a possible speed bump this time.
Oh boy.
Gandalf the White. If a legendary permanent or an artifact entering or leaving the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Trigger my commander twice. Back up to 40. Try to block Ragavan.
Yeah.
Oh, he also makes it so I can cast legendary spells and artifact spells at instant speed.
That's gonna be it for me. Go ahead.
Brent, draw a card. I'll also draw a card. I'm going to pass my turn.
I'll play this Arid Mesa for turn. Sure. Cast things from my graveyard and I will target Sculpting Steel. 3. The Sculpting Steel. Making a second clue. And I'll enter as a Simulacrum. I'll make another construct. I will scry 2. 2. I'm going to sack this. Mountain. 3. Storm count is 2. Amphibian Downpour. Storm enchanted creature loses all abilities and becomes a blue frog with base power toughness and 1/1. I get 3 total copies. Commander, Sappy.
I will sack Sappy in response, targeting Lauren of the third path. Trigger Heavy, I will return Skrell Defector Might to play tapped. Trigger Perforos, trigger Guardian Project.
With all those on the stack, Teshar, Ancestor's Apostle, Flying. Whenever you cast a historic spell, return target creature card with the mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Trigger my commander twice. I'm going to flash in a Lotus Petal for free. I'll gain 2, lose 2, put a creature that costs 3 or less into play. I'm just going to grab a Filigree Familiar, 1 mana, to flash in a Scrabbling Claws. I'll gain 2, you each lose 2.
I'll fetch in response. Yeah, I'll fail to find and then die.
Teshar trigger on the stack, get back a Sky Scanner. I'll gain 2, we each lose 2. 2 players down. I will draw a card from Sky Scanner.
Anything else, Jason?
You're good then.
Arnie slays the troll. It's gonna get a lore counter. It's gonna trigger Sigurd. We're gonna put the counter onto the Delighted Halfling. Arnie says target creature you control fights up to one target creature I don't control. Delighted Halflings square up with Teshar.
Okay. Teshar's dead.
We're 5. A Johnny fells the Godsire. Put a lore counter on it. I'm going to put a counter on something else. On this elf.
I fucked up. Should have been triggering twice on Teshar, but that's my bad.
I'm going to exile target creature an opponent controls with power 3 or greater. I'm going to exile Gandalf.
Yeah, seems good.
Please stay out of here. Go to combat. I'll swing a 2/2, a 3/3, and a 3/3 at you.
I'm going to double block your commander, and I'll take the 4. When Filigree Familiar dies, I will draw a card.
Gain 3. That's all I got.
Go to my turn. Junk Diver. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. I'm going to play an Elegant Parlor for turn. I'm going to Surveil 1. I'm going to play a Mir Retriever. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. I'll pass my turn.
Trigger, we'll have... I'm going to make a 2/1 Cat Warrior, and then I'm going to put a Vigilance counter on something. I'm going to give this human Vigilance. Arnie slays the troll. I'm going to add a red mana. I'm going to put 2/+1 counters on a target creature I control. 2 counters onto one of these other ones. Pay 4. Cast an Eidolon of Blossoms. When it or another enchantment enters the battlefield under my control, I draw a card. I'm going to play a Windswept Heath as my land for turn. Cast a Bop. Combat. Swing a 3/3 Vigilance, a 4/5, a 2/2, and a 3/3 at you.
Block the 2 highest. What does that leave?
Take 4.
Mir Retriever and Junk Diver will both perish. They will both trigger. I'm going to get Ashnod's Altar and Joyous Familiar.
That's all I got. Say go.
Untap and draw. I will play a Joyous Familiar. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. I will play an Ashnod's Altar. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. I'm going to go ahead and have a Spells draw card. I have 1 less mana than I thought I did.
I'm fine with this.
Yes.
Trigger. I'm going to give this human double strike until end of turn with a Johnny fells the Godsire. I'm going to gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures
No.
I control.
Okay.
I'm going to gain 4 life. We're 5. Tale of Tenuville enters. I'm going to put a counter on it. This human is indestructible as long as I control this. I'm going to draw a card with a Dolan. Play Wooded Foothills for turn. Swing a 3/4, a 3/3 with double strike.
What's the total?
15.
All right, down to 33.
Pay 1. Cast an Esper Sentinel. Say go.
Untapping and drawing. Inventor's Fire will gain me a life. 2 mana for a Circuit Mender. When it enters the battlefield, I gain 2 life. When it dies, I draw a card. And then an additional 1 from my commander, you will lose 1. I'm going to sack this to Ashnod's Altar. I will draw a card. I'm going to play a Plains for turn. Use this 2 mana or Foundry Inspector. Artifacts cost 1 less. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. Play Spare Supplies for free. When it enters play, I will draw a card. I'll gain 1, you lose 1.
Are you going to pay 1 or am I going to draw a card?
I will pay 1.
Damn it.
1 for a Cloudstone Key, naming artifacts. I will gain 1, you lose 1. I'm going to pay 1 for a Mystic Forge. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. I can look at the top card of my library at any time. I can cast artifact spells and colorless spells from the top of my library. I can pay a life and tap this to exile the top card of my library. I'm going to do that. Exiling this land. I'm going to play a white for an Ether Sworn Canonist. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. Let's both draw a card with Teo. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
Tale of Tenero. I'm going to return target creature card from my graveyard to the battlefield. Nice.
Oh, there's literally none.
Yeah.
Okay.
Combat. Swing the game.
I'm going to block Esper Sentinel with a 2/2. What's the rest of it?
19. In response to blocks Gavany Township, I'm going to put a +1 counter on all my creatures. Take 6 more. And then we trade. Pay 2. I'm going to cast a Scholar of New Horizons. It's going to enter with a +1/+1 counter on it. I'll say go.
Untapping and drawing. Inventor's Fire will gain me a life. I'm going to go ahead and pay 1 white and tap and sack this to exile the best card from your graveyard. We'll do Esper Sentinel and I'll draw a card. Pay 1 red. It's reduced by 2 for Borassus Tunnel Grinder. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. I'm going to discard these 4 cards. I'll draw 5. I'm going to play these Lightning Greaves for free. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. Pay 1 for this Solemn Simulacrum. Gain 1. Search for a land. Get a Plains. 1 red. For a Cursed Mirror, we'll do it as a Joyra's Familiar. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. I'll play an Ancient Den for turn. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. I'm gonna lose a life, tap this to exile Birgi. Pay a white for an Esper Sentinel. Gain 1, you lose 1. Pay a white, reduced by 1 for an Argent Dias. I'll gain 1, you lose 1. Mind Stone for free.
Nice.
Okay.
And I'm able to take Arbaaz Mir in for the win.
I'm pretty sure there were multiple opportunities there I could have won easier with some artifact combos, but to be honest, I didn't really learn all my combos that I put in the deck, so I didn't know what to grab. So I just won the old-fashioned way, pinging everyone to death with my commander. Thanks for watching, everyone. See ya. And as always, thank you patrons, especially Paul K, Jared R, Kiji CB, Jacob M, Thaddeus R, and Mad Hatter Mage CJ. And thank you to the rest of our patrons as well.